Welcome, Damon Bruce with you as we get ready for NBA action here on 2K Sports. Sunday in the NBA.
The sparkling Riverwalk, one of the highlights of any visit to San Antonio, under a beautiful starlit sky. It's an all-Western Conference matchup in today's game as the Lakers come into town for this one. We've got some terrific NBA action in store for you today. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. Our starting lineups, a look at the matchups here presented by our good friends at State Farm. And guys, what do you think we'll be seeing from Dwight Howard in this one?
Yeah, probably the most dominant defensive presence in the league today. Actually, there's no question about it. He is. Covers so much ground. He's big. He can jump. He anticipates. He just changes the entire team's defensive outlook when he's on the floor.
Yeah, steals, rebounds, and most dramatically blocks shots. He brings an athleticism, does Howard, to the center position that we've not seen in a long time.
Well, you know, the Spurs have been thinking about what's beyond the Tim Duncan era in the future. But Duncan keeps on ticking. I mean, he just keeps playing at a very high level. And as long as he does that, San Antonio will be tough to beat.
And going back to Tim Duncan in San Antonio, Clark, even if he isn't putting up great numbers, he really does seem to drive the team just through his power and his will.
Well, there's something about presence, and that's really what a superstar player like Duncan can do for you, Kevin. Even if he plays into his 40s, I just can't imagine the Spurs not being competitive with him on their roster.
I agree.
Excellent job carving out space under the glass to make that putback possible.
Duncan with it, and it's Howard picking him up. They get the rebound. Green. And that basket's going to count, folks. Gets the goaltending call right there.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
Now you see Daniel Green, a second-round pick in 2009 out of North Carolina. Bounced around a little bit, played abroad, but had such an impressive season for the Spurs a year ago that it looks to me like he's going to be a part of their future. Really a nice fit for the Spurs.
Here's Duncan. Steve Nash making his last shot, and Green gets it to go.
That was a nice finish to an excellent possession.
Lakers have gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. Kobe kicks to Clark. Over splitter. No good from Clark.
And Steve, going back to Daniel Green, I mean, he's long, defends, really rebounds, and can knock down the three. I mean, he's been cut from a number of teams, but he seems to have solidified himself as an NBA player now.
You know, he's not the most flashy point guard out there, and you don't hear his name when people talk about the best point guards in the game, but I think Parker is one of the best in the business when it comes right down to it. He's able to do so many things out there for you and just had a dominant season for the Spurs a year ago.
Steve, Parker's fearlessness going to the hoop is what makes him such a devastating player in crunch time. Often you'll see him go right into a bigger guy, take the contact, and still find a way to finish the play.
Here's Kobe following the score by Tony Parker. Shot is off.
Well, at least he had the presence of mind to change his shot when the defense got on him. You've got to improvise sometimes.
And then Leonard with the dunk.
Throwing it down with one hand and making it look easy.
Easy and fun. He just thrives on making the D look silly.
Yeah, which is something he does pretty often, Kevin.
Clark kicks it over to Nash. Will it go? And the layup is good. Nash has got his second basket of the game.
That's how you exploit that defense. Take the ball right to the basket.
And a high-scoring first quarter. Both teams really filling it up. Welcome back, folks. We have a close game here at the start of the second quarter of play. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Spurs?
Just the start they wanted to this game. Solid offense. They got good ball movement. Established a nice rhythm.
Yeah, not stagnant at all. Free-flowing and fluid at the offensive end.
So with Nash sitting on the bench, here's the 5 for Mike D'Antoni right now. The incredible post duo of Powell and Dwight together inside. Darius Morris is out there with Steve Blake, and it's Jamison in at the small forward position.
You know, the Lakers weren't quite as dominant as they were in 2010-11, but it wasn't because of how they played against the West. They really did a nice job against their conference rivals.
And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Hi, Kevin. Tim Duncan is known for his unflappable demeanor. He's not a trash talker. He lets his play do that for him. He said he uses silence to, quote, destroy people's psyches. He explains, the best mind game you can run on someone is just to keep going at them and at them until they break. Kevin, with the success he's had, you can't argue with the results.
Doris, the Spurs win percentage over the Duncan era, the best of any team in NBA history over a 15-year span. I'd have to agree with you. Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. Tim Duncan, he's checked in for Matt Bonner. Kawhi Leonard comes in for Steven Jackson. And Tony Parker is subbed in for Gary Neal. Parker with the steal. And a fast break now for the Spurs. Here's Ginobili. Knocks down the 10-footer. Second quarter of basketball, just over a minute and a half played so far. 32-16 was their end mark of the season against the West. The Lakers certainly showed they can play with every team that was a contender out there, and they were tough, but it just at the end, it just did not come together.
Well, nonetheless, winning 2 out of every 3 games you play in conference action is a good recipe for finishing near the top of the standings. The Lakers would have loved to have been that #1 seed, but they didn't get it. It wasn't because of how they played in the West, though.
It was, I think, that they were the 3rd seed in the Western Conference, as it turned out. Now Nash, after the missed 3 from Tim Duncan. Gasol, and the go-ahead bucket, no good.
Terrific defense at the rim. They got right in his path.
You know, that's part of what great defenders do. They get not only in your path, but in your head a little bit, too.
And a little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Back to world peace. Pulls it up. Good, and the assist goes to Nash. Nash has got 3 assists in the game. Parker passes to Leonard. Ginobili right side. Over Kobe. Kept alive. Kicks to Diaw. Feeds it to Parker. The second chance effort. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. The Spurs have shot 2 free throws, and they're 1 of 2 so far. Free throw good by Parker. A big group substitution here for the Lakers. And Parker drops them both. And here is Howard. From the arc. Can't get it to go. Close game as we wrap up the second quarter.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
And it's halftime out in San Antonio with a great one going on there.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. Look at Tony Parker. What a contribution.
Well, why eat at the drive-thru when you can sit down at the buffet and have all you can eat, Clark?
Well, I know you've been listening, partner. I like that. That's exactly what you need to do. Take advantage of what's available.
So with Ginobili sitting on the bench, here's how the floor looks for Greg Popovich. Green and Leonard out on the perimeter. Duncan out there with Splitter, and it's Parker in at the 1 spot. Now here's Green. Parker drives in, tries again, and he sinks the layup. Parker's got the first bucket of the third here for the Spurs.
You know, the Lakers didn't really have the bite on defense they once had last season, Kevin. It showed up in their inability to create turnovers. They were at the bottom of the league in terms of steals.
Here's Clark. Shot clock at 6. Tipped away. It's stolen by Duncan. Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris.
Gentlemen, the San Antonio Spurs have a team culture really all their own in the NBA. They've embodied that under-the-radar, low-maintenance type of aesthetic for over a decade. Former Spur Richard Jefferson said, "This is not the real NBA. Trust me, I've been around a few places, know a lot of guys, and this is not the real NBA." The Spurs do a great job, probably as well as any team in the league, at bringing in the right type of people, because not everybody can mentally handle it. Not everybody can put themselves aside and say, hey, what's best for the team? Kevin, it's a strategy most teams are trying to emulate now.
Well, Doris, they really established that culture, and I guess those guys are buying in. Yeah, Clark, the Lakers dead last in steals, as you said. Below, a lot of teams that had a lot more trouble playing defense, like the Raptors and Bobcats. But I didn't sense the Lakers were jumping into passing lanes. They kind of set back in their defense, and we're trying to pack it in. Yeah, well, that's playing to your personnel. When you've got 2 7-footers at the rim, you don't want those guys to get in foul trouble. So you really want to funnel players into the lane and to the baseline to have to shoot over the top of those guys. You don't want to be out in the passing lane taking all kinds of risks. And the Lakers have possession. Following the bucket by the Spurs. Jamison kicks to Blake. Takes a 3. Hits it to go. Blake's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Now, you guys know the 3 ball is his bread and butter. Back to Jackson. Parker outside. He dishes it to Jackson. Ginobili right side. Shoots over Kobe. No good from Ginobili. Lakers trail by 3. Kobe kicks to Jamison. That's good. Now they've got to offer more resistance inside. Just too many easy buckets in the paint.
Yeah, Steven, that's the top priority for any defense. You got to protect the paint.
Back to Jackson. There's the feed to Splitter. Over Howard. No good from 11 feet. We're at the end of the third, and we've still got a close one. Spurs. As the fourth quarter gets going, let's swing it over to Doris Burke to find out who's had the Sprite uncontainable game. Doris?
Gentlemen, Tony Parker has had an uncontainable game tonight. He seems to be the one player popping up in all the right places. I'm sure he has a big fourth quarter plan for us.
All right, thanks, Doris. It's been just a terrific game for him.
It really has. They haven't figured out a way to stop him or even slow him down. So they've only got 1 quarter left to come up with a solution. They're going to have to figure something out.
Well, good luck with that. I mean, if they haven't figured it out by now, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I think we're going to see more of the same here in the fourth.
Taking a look at the Lakers. Kobe and Matt at the wings with the big Pau Gasol at the 4. Nash out there with Howard. Kobe dishes to World Peace. Here's Gasol. That's good. And the Lakers lead by 4. The Spurs shooting 43% from the field. Here's Duncan. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker.
Well, that makes 5 of their last 6 makes coming from inside.
Yeah, really focused on getting the ball into the paint because they're taking advantage of very porous defense down there.
Yeah, he's giving that breakaway rim a workout.
Yeah, he powered it down and then hung around.
Strong finish. He just wanted to sit there and savor it for a second.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Guys, thank you. I got a chance to hear what Greg Popovich was saying to his team. He told us, guys, I know we can do this, fellas. Let's maximize every possession and get after it and just watch. Things will go our way. Kevin?
Splitter is checked in for San Antonio. Ginobili comes in for Daniel Green. Now here's Parker, 13 feet away. San Antonio again missing. Lobs it up there. Stolen away. Nice job to interrupt the alley-oop attempt there. Takes a shot at the elbow. Duncan kicks to Parker. Pins the shot with nobody near him. 1:31 left in the fourth quarter. Here's Kobe. Solid defense there from Ginobili. Spurs have gone 2 for 5 on field goal attempts in the fourth quarter. And it's out of bounds. The Spurs able to retain possession here. And the Lakers making a change here. Gasol's checked in. Parker with it. Guarded now by Nash. Parker passes to Splitter. And the pass to Ginobili. Pass to Duncan. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Shot's good. Duncan's got 4 points this quarter. Big time bucket there, Clark.
And Kevin, the crowd is loving it.
Well, they know exactly how big that shot was. Some rugged defense there against one of the stronger finishers in the game.
And Parker, here we go, over Nash, and unable there to get the go-ahead bucket.
Yeah, he struggled with his shot this quarter, and he's got to find a groove somehow.
They double-team Kobe. Duncan brings the double-team. Back to Kobe. Good luck. Buries it.
Kobe has been sensational.
Now here's Ginobili. Parker outside. Dishes to Duncan. Over Howard. Ooh, offline. And they commit an intentional foul. We'll see another one of those so they can get into the penalty.
Yeah, you can't let them pound the ball and just milk those precious seconds away.
No other option here but to foul and hope for a few misses at the line.
Here's Kobe. Here's Gasol. And so it's the Lakers who come out on top here. It was tight, but they managed to come up with the win.
31.